Behind me is a DC-3, a plane that actually flew in D-Day, the invasion at Normandy in World War II. And joining me is a man, a veteran, who started his career flying this in the Air Force, a C-47. Joining me now is Charlie Overstreet. Charlie, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Bob.
This is a gorgeous aircraft, and I understand it's more than pretty for many reasons.
It is. It was a workhorse. This airplane actually started life as a C-47 cargo carrier, went to Europe in about 1944, and we have it documented as dropping either 82nd or 101st Airborne troops back at the beaches at Normandy on D-Day. And it's flown from World War II all the way through the Vietnam era. It's the airplane in the DC-3 category that made aviation possible for the average American person. And I can't remember how many of them were built. Some of them are still flying at various places around the world.
You were in the Air Force. You climbed into a cockpit just like that, and that was your first job.
Well, it wasn't exactly my first job. I was in training for bombers, and that was the way we got our flying time. But the first rated flying time as an Air Force pilot was in a DC-3.
Fun to fly?
It was different than flying the jets that I'd been trained in, yes.
Now this museum houses four other aircraft that you have sat in the cockpit of. Tell us about those aircraft. Well,
I started out flying in a J-3 Cub, as many pilots did. The J-3 that we have in the Air Force is 83 years old. It was we have in the museum, is 83 years old. It was built in 1937. And I was built in 1937. The T-37 trainer I flew in primary, and then the T-33 I flew in basic. Once you completed the syllabus flying the T-33, then you got your wings and you moved on to what you were going to actually fly in the Air Force. But these airplanes not only flew in Vietnam, they were Cold War heroes. They were part of the backbone of the Berlin airlift, flying cold in Berlin for the duration of the airlift. And the pilots that flew that were amazing people. My B-47 instructor had been a Berlin airlift pilot, and he could tell you the distance from the outer marker to touchdown in the airplane by the number of puffs on the cigar he was smoking.
Mr. Overstreet, I want to thank you for your service. That's incredible. Now, coming up, we're going to meet two Vietnam veterans who are going to show us an aircraft that became a big problem for Americans in the war. That's coming up right after the break.